Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Kalika and you're gonna be a spicier person after watching this video. Revenge served spicy. Ooh, that's just how I like it. Back in junior high school, there was this kid that I would call Jerk. Jerk would go around and steal one chicken nugget or one fry from almost everyone's plate a minute or two before the bell. It wasn't because Jerk was hungry, he had his own lunch. I think it was just his stupid way to assert dominance over us. And I was sick of it. So I hatched a plan. My mother loved making homemade salsa. Half of our backyard was dedicated to her garden. My favourite section was always the hot peppers. They were so colourful and my brothers and I would dare each other to eat them, but always with a glass of milk and sugar nearby. Water doesn't actually help it just spreads the pain to other parts of your mouth. Milk and sugar help neutralise the acid. It was a very good year. It had been hot and dry, meaning that the peppers were more potent than any year before, and so I picked an orange habanero and started my preparations. I separated the parts of the pepper and started cutting the membrane and seeds so fine that I could lay my knife flat on it and squeeze out the juices. It seemed too watery, so I let it dry in my room for 3 days until it moved like maple syrup. I disassembled a ballpoint pen. We used to smuggle notes inside hollow pens, so I had practice. I carefully filled it halfway with liquid paint and then examined my work, tipping the pen and watching the air bubble move through the orange-brown liquid. My weapon was ready to be deployed. I got to school and couldn't stop thinking about lunchtime. When the bell finally rang, I took my backpack into the lunchroom and got my usual, a bean and cheese burrito with fries and pickles. And this time, I didn't put the pickles on top of the fries to keep him from eating them. When I opened my bag, a strong scent hit me like an open oven. The fake pen had leaked. I panicked. Had all of this preparation been for nothing? I reached in and found though sticky, it was still a quarter full. I pulled out the pen, separated one extra long fry on my plate, covered one side of it, and then carefully put that side face down and far away from me. I must have gotten some on my fingers because as I ate my burrito, I started to feel the heat build in my mouth. I hurried over to get a glass of milk and was able to neutralize it before my face got too red. I finished my meal, leaving a single fry. I started to worry that he wasn't going to come over today, but then right before the bell, Jerk came over. He took a fry off my friend's plate, made some stupid joke, took the last fry off my plate, and then walked away to enjoy it. We should go, I told my friend. He saw my excitement and didn't ask why. As we stood with our trays, I watched Jerk chew. We were a few steps away and lost in the crowd, as the realization that something was wrong showed on his face. He looked back at our now empty seats, and the full brunt of the habanero hit him. He yelped and clawed at his tongue, yelling explicit words and making heads across the lunchroom turn. He ran over and stole the nearest glass he could find. It was water. As every corner of his mouth filled with fire, he crumpled into the fetal position on the floor. The bell rang. I turned and walked away calmly as teachers and students rushed past me to find the source of the screams. I would have loved to have seen that guy's face. I think some of my favourite revenge stories have been the one involving spicy peppers. But I'm sure he'll think twice before stealing food off of people's plates. When Karen is the manager, scam diverted. This is the story of how I got screwed over by a big attire store and got my revenge. The manager had a very Karen-y haircut and vibe to her, but I still got what was rightfully mine out of her. TLDR at the bottom. Back around 8,000 miles ago, I took my Ford Flex, which was in desperate need of some tread, to get new tyres. I was a little low on money, so I took it to Big O Tyres because I had a credit card for the franchise from buying tyres there before. Everyone around will tell you that anytime you bring your car in, they will inevitably find some work that needs to be done to try and get more money out of you. I wish I had known this sooner. I went in, and the manager was the one to help me price the tyres and find the right ones for me. My Flex had 19-inch rims on it, so the tyres that go on them are expensive, but I was paying on a card, so I didn't care. I found the tyres I wanted and opted for a good tyre that would last me at least 60k miles. I asked her to put the tyres on and do an alignment after they get them fitted. Then I go sit down in the waiting area and wait for the job to be complete. I'm sitting in the waiting area when a greasy mechanic comes out of the shop and starts looking around. Who's got the Ford Flex? I do. We went to do your alignment and we found that your inner and outer tie rods are bad all the way around and you need new rear lateral arms. It'll cost about $1,300 to do here, but we can do it. You want to stick it on that? My jaw dropped. No. Well, we can't do an alignment on bad parts. Okay, then just give me the keys, I guess. As I'm signing the final paperwork, the manager is stressing to me that the bad parts I'm driving on could destroy my new tyres. My friend who was actually working there at the time pulled me aside and told me that they looked like they were wearing down, but that they didn't need to be replaced yet, so I left the store. Fast forward about 8,000 miles later, now it's April. The inside of my tyres on the rear had been worn down completely smooth. The front tyres only had about half the tread life remaining, and I'm still making payments on the tyres. When I'm driving down the road, there is a steady noise coming from the tyres from being so unevenly worn down. It was around this time I had finally gotten money together to fix my bad parts. So I go to my mechanic who is honest and has never tried to pull the wool over my eyes and will give me a decent price. I tell him what the mechanic and manager at Big O Tires told me was wrong with it and tell him to get it fixed and hand him the keys. About 3 hours later, he calls me back. Hey, I'm looking at your car and the only thing that was wrong with it was you had a stuck right rear brake caliper. So everything else was fine? Yeah, everything to do with your suspension was in perfect shape. No play in the tie rods, it looks like you just needed an alignment pretty badly. Oh, okay, thank you. Will you put a new caliper on there for me? Yeah, I'm on it. If I was you though, I'd take it down to the dealership, they do all my alignment and they aren't going to pull any bullcrap on you like that. Okay, thanks. After hearing that my parts were fine and my tyres could have been saved by a simple alignment, I was livid. So I called up Big O, and the conversation was pretty short, so I'm not going to post the conversation, but to sum it up, she told me that she wasn't trying to say my mechanic was lying, but that he doesn't have a laser rack or proper equipment to know if those parts are bad. She then goes on to explain in great detail why my parts were bad and try to make me feel stupid. She wanted me to have him replace all those parts and bring it in for alignment. I told her I'd see what Tony Brown had to say about that. When I pulled up to the dealership, I walked in and told them what happened and what was supposedly bad with my car, and they did my alignment with no fuss, and cheaper. So the next day I got home from work. I pulled in the driveway of my house and looked at my passenger seat where my ticket was for the alignment I had gotten done. Something just took over me, and I put my car into reverse, pulled out of my driveway and started heading to the Big O. I called my mum on the way because she knew what I was going through and how stressful it was for me, and I told her I was about to go and make a show in front of their customers and see where I can make things go from there. She was excited and wanted to listen in, so I left her on the phone with my Bluetooth headphones around my neck where she could hear everything. As I walked into the store, I was feeling nervous, but just shoved it all to the side when I seen how many customers there was. At least 7 people in the store looking at tyres or waiting for their cars to get done. I walked up to the front desk and waited patiently for the manager to get done talking with another customer. Hi, can I help you? I ignore the front desk employee and look at the manager as he's finishing up. Hi, are you the manager? Yes, I am. Hi, I believe I spoke to you on the phone a day or 2 ago. I wanted to speak to you in regards to the work done on my vehicle. Okay, what's your name? I tell her my name and her employee starts to pull up my file. As she's looking me up, I start telling my story, and I tell it loud enough for all the customers in the store to hear. Well, when I came in here, I was refused an alignment because of bad parts. We can't do an alignment on bad parts. Let me finish, okay? I was told I needed to pay $1,300 before they would do my alignment because of bad parts. And $1,300 is a lot of money, so I just took my car home so I could start saving up money for the repairs I thought I needed. Eventually, when I was feeling like I could afford it, I took it to my mechanic who told me my parts were fine. You told me he didn't have the right equipment, so I took it to the dealership, who has the same rack as you. They did my alignment and told me my parts were fine, and I show her my alignment paperwork. The sheet shows the before and after of an alignment, and my rear left tyre was cambered out minus 2.3 degrees. She was trying to tell me before my tyres were worn so bad on the inside because the parts were bad, but it really was just an alignment issue. Let me go talk to my mechanic. She walks into the shop for about 10 minutes and I see them walk through the bay doors to go out and look at my tyres. She comes back inside and tells me how sorry she is and comes up with the excuse that there was 2 Ford Flexes in the shop that day and the mechanic that was there that day got the tickets mixed up and my Flex never even went on the rack. She then goes on to say she will replace 2 of my tyres for free and refund me the $40 rack fee I was charged that day. I came back the next day for my 2 free tyres and rack fee, feeling like I've won, but still upset because the other 2 tyres I was sporting only had about 50% tread left on them, when they were supposed to last me way longer. I decided to write a review on Google for all to see. It was basically 3 paragraphs on everything you've just read. 1 week later, I received a phone call from Big O, but I was busy, so I let it go to voicemail. The voicemail was basically the manager saying that she was confused why I would leave such a review and asked me to call back and see what we can do to fix it. After I was free, I called her back. Hey, I missed a call? Yes, I just seen your Google review this morning and my jaw dropped. I thought that everything was okay after we gave you 2 free tires and refunded your rack fee, and now you've left this review saying you'll never be back except for your free rotations while they last? What can we do for you just to take the review down? I was upset because while I got 2 of my tires fixed, I'll have to end up replacing those other tires well before my new ones, when they should have all been on the same tread to begin with. So if I give you 2 more free tires, will you remove the review? We just don't want to have to deal with corporate, and if anyone reads that, it will lose us customers. Yeah, sure. I'll remove it as soon as the tires are on my rims. I'll have them here tomorrow then. So I stop in and get 2 more free tires fitted on my vehicle. I couldn't stop smiling the whole time I was signing the paperwork. The second manager even told me that because I had to come back in so much that she was giving me a free oil change next time I came into the store. I edited my review to say that I had a bad experience, but the managers did what they could to make things right and changed it from a 1 star to 3 stars. They asked me if I would still shop for my tires with them, and I told them I would, but you couldn't pay me to go buy tires there again. I took my win and my free oil change and walked right out of there. I really don't understand why this has become such a common thing that when you take your car to a mechanic you have to brace yourself for extra charges unless you can find someone who's decent and honest. Isn't it a better business practice to fix what's wrong, do it well, and then the customer will come back because you've established trust and rapport? Especially on bigger items like cars. I don't really understand what the appeal is. Sure, the business will make a little bit more money in the short term, but then they're screwing themselves out of consistent business? I don't know. Can someone explain this to me? Okay, so that's all for r/RegularRevenge. I really hope you did enjoy it. As always, if you do want to see more content like this, then please do subscribe. My Twitter, Discord, and Patreon links are in the description, and any support is greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!